Let me show you. I really didn't found among your projects any example with one single value, this example. So I got two of my own. So one example is this one. Check, it's I'm talking about what? I'm talking about medicine, and I'm saying that Brazil is the seventh biggest market of medicine in the world. So I could put a chart showing the first, the second, yes, I could. But what I really wanted to say is that, look, we have more than 140 countries in the world, and not São Paulo, sorry, Brazil likes medicine a lot. So this is the message. So I really didn't, actually, I didn't want to talk about the six first or the rest of them. So I really didn't need the first six countries, okay? So it's never a bad idea to just give the number. Another example in the same presentation, this about the healthcare, was this here. It was about the number of hospitals in Brazil. So we have more than 6,000 hospitals in Brazil. And now I'm going to use a small chart, but it's not a data chart with all the data chart, but just to show how small this big number is, very small compared with the rest of the healthcare services in Brazil. So this slide here, what's the message? The message is that we have more than 6,000 hospitals in Brazil, and this 6,000 only represent 98%, 2% of the whole healthcare. Yeah. Anybody said hi? Someone sneezed? Hello? I know it's a Halloween week, so I'm a little bit worried. Okay. Okay. If you need me, just talk to me, okay? So, you see that there are really here two simple examples with simple data, simple and direct data, okay? As I told you before, the problem is that most of the time people mess a presentation using a presentation in a meeting or an internal presentation. For example, you're going to present the results of a project, or you're going to try to sell a solution to a client or something like this. So people most of the time mess what is a business presentation, a corporate presentation, or a lecture, big screen, let's put this way, a big screen presentation. So I'm going to show you some differences between meetings and lectures. Actually, there is a concept in Portuguese. The term is horrible, so thanks God we have this class in English. We have, okay, here. Yeah. When you have a meeting.
Sorry, can I ask you something?
What?
Just before you start, may I start at this point when I think about meeting and lecture about like who is the person that I'm talking to? Because I am just asking that because I was right now talking to my chef. I forgot how to say, but
my boss.
Yes, and
never
we were
forget
like
the word boss. Yes.
Yes. And we were doing our presentation, and I was like, we were talking about what were the main data that we should like present. To be clear about what we were talking, and I thought myself, if you were presenting that like to a consumer, it would be like totally different, because maybe the consumer don't know a lot of concepts and a lot of ideas that we know about about the thing that it's being analyzed. So I would just ask if maybe one of the principal points to start is who is the person that will listen to your presentation. Can I say that?
Oh yes, actually, Anna, you are more than right. The main goal of communication, general communication, uh, is that the sender of the message, or the person that is talking, he cannot talk to himself or herself. He has to talk to the person that is listening. So if you pay attention, of course, we don't watch television so much today, nowadays, but if you check the type of speech that the presenters of more simple programs, TV programs, like, I don't know, Silvio Santos, if you get Silvio Santos, for example, or that guy from Rede TV, I don't know his name, the very rich and bald guy, the owner of Rede TV, he has a program, and I think it's Saturday night, like a game show or something like this. If you pay attention at the speech, the way they talk naturally. They are not paternalizing the persons, the people, but they talk to simple people. They speak to simple people. And this is not about being elitist or not, or being oh, I'm good, they are not. It's not this, but of course you have to pay attention to whom are you talking to. So you gave a great example. If I am presenting, I don't know, this mouse to my consumer, even if it is my consumer, pay attention that it's different for me to show you this mouse, you guys, because you are young and you know what a mouse is, and try to understand, try to show a mouse to your great grandparent that never used a computer before. So you see that it's the same product. Actually, they may be from the same family, and still you have to communicate in a different way. So this is perfect. What you said is really perfect. But in this case here, I'm not only talking about how you say or what you say, but what you put on your slide, on the slide. And of course, again, a deck of slides about not a mouse, but pretend that it's about a smartphone, for example. Imagine that you're going to make a presentation to your cousin about a new smartphone, and to your great grandmother, for example. So they have to be there must be different presentations. No. So you were perfect. What you said was perfect. But still here, it's not about content. What I want to talk to you about is not about content. It's about form. And then you may use one of the two forms, meeting or lectures, with different people. So, for example, I can have a meeting. Let me give you a real example. It's very, how can I say this politely? Public and private sectors in Brazil, they are very different. They have different cultures. And again, I'm not saying one is better than the other, that's not the point, but they have cultures, they have way of thinking very different. So one day I have a consulting firm in content production, and I went to, most of the time I used to work with private companies. And one day I was invited to a project, to make a project in our health secretary here in São Paulo, a public sector. And you see that the presentation, the slide, the slide design was practically the same, but I try to avoid, for example, some words that we use in the private sector that we don't use in the public sector. One word, just to give you one example, is organização, organization. When you say, for example, there are lots of organizations in educational sector, it's okay. We have lots of schools and I don't know, companies that sell products of education, etc. But in public sector, we don't use organizations. We use institutions. So it's a very small word. It's a very simple word. So you say organização or you say instituição, no big deal. But for some people at the more traditional at the public sector, you don't say organização. Organização is private stuff. So we are institutions. So there are some very small, sometimes details that make all the difference. But again, you were talking about content. I'm talking now about content. Okay. The point here that you're going to see is the big difference between the layout of a slide in a meeting and a slide in a lecture. I don't know if it made sense to you.
Yes, teacher, for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So take a look here at the meeting. We have a very horrible word in English that joins, that concatenates slide and document. And it's really horrible, but if you look up at Google, you're going to find the slideument. It's horrible, I know. What is a slideument? It's a document that you project on the wall so everybody can see. When you make a meeting and you present data in a meeting, you have to consider that people are going to need this data or this information after the meeting. And also, probably in some cases, you had to send the data previously. You had to send the data before beginning the meeting. So what you project, what you put on the slide actually is it's like a document that everybody has to have. Before we have projectors and very cheap projectors in the market, we used to print copies to everybody in the meeting. Ask your parents. Some years ago, that projectors were very, very expensive. So if we have, for example, a meeting, I don't know, 5, 10 of us, we're going to make a meeting. So our secretary or our intern was going to make photocopies of the data, of the content, so everybody could follow the instructions and follow the lead of the meeting. So now that we have cheap projectors and also we want to save some trees, then we don't print to everybody anymore. We send a PDF if we need the data previously, and also during the meeting, we show that slide with the whole information. So the slide is not actually a presentation aid. The slide is a document. It's a document that you are using through the meeting. So, of course, people, there are exceptions, okay? But most of the meetings, presentations are documents. Take a look. Try to analyze the meetings that you go. Try to take a look and say, wow, this slide is different from a slide from a TED talk that I saw last week, for example. Okay. At the other side, we have lectures. Lectures. The slide in a lecture is not for you. It's not for the presenter. Of course, some professors and some lecturers, they don't remember this. We're going to talk about this, but this is a good practice and not an error. Now, this is an error sometimes, but my point is, when you are presenting something, Remember, it's not about a meeting. It's not, there are no information. Let's suppose that, for example, I'm telling you the story of my life. Okay, so I'm telling a story. And of course, you can listen to my story and understand my story and picture in your heads my story. Okay, so I can say, for example, when I was really young, I fell from a balance swing, probably a swing, and I crashed my head. Oh my God, not crash, but I opened a little bit, a small thing in my head. So I'm telling the story to you, okay? One thing is that I told you there's a story, and then you picture is a very tiny Liburnia crying because she cracked her head. The other thing is that by the time I'm telling you the story, I show you a picture of Liburnia crying near the swing. So the fact that I joined what I'm talking with some aid, some visual aid, make my presentation very nice, very cool. Okay, the cat is awake, as you can see. Come on, cat. Vem atrapalhar a aula da mamãe, vem. Okay, 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 just a little bit. Has to do like this, about 5 seconds, and then go. So, the problem is that most lecturers today, and sorry to say, some professors today, they actually use these slides not as an aid, not as some way to make the make some emphasis, give some emphasis in the message, on the message. I don't know, but give that emphasis at the message, okay? But unfortunately, some professors and lecturers, they use the slide as a small, a cheat sheet. Let's put it this way, okay? Actually, today with technology, etc., there are ways to have the cheat sheet and also a good slide behind you. Actually, most of the great talks, like TED Talks, like this one here that I forgot the name, they have small ways, they have small or big, actually, big screens in front of the lecturer that where he can see or she can see, and he or she can even read something that he or she wants to say. Okay, but pay attention that the main point here is that the crowd is not seeing lots of text or something very cluttered, but the crowd is only seeing what is important. The crowd is only seeing the message. So no big and cluttered charts, no photos with no sense, and no slides with lots of text, okay? Unfortunately, again, we professors, we lecturers, most of the time, we are not trained in this kind of thing. We are not trained to make good slides. I began to study how to make my slides less boring about, I don't know, 6-8 years ago. And I decided to study this because I had a class. I have a group of students in GV in the post-graduation course, one post-graduation course. And one day I looked at the class and they were so bored. And not only about the content, no, not only about the content, but because nothing else was entertaining them. Of course, we are not saying that, oh my God, all classes have to be, entertain. It's not entertain, like let's laugh, etc. But let me give another example. My husband gave a lecture some years ago about politics, about the history of the communism in Brazil, etc. And we made a presentation. Of course, he asked me to help him with the layout. We made a presentation, a 2-hour presentation with more than 200 slides. And why? Because each slide, for example, had a picture, had a photo of a writer, a country, or a map, or something that he was saying, oh, look, because Stalin got to power after the death of Lenin. So by the time he was saying that, the photo of Stalin and Lenin appeared. Okay, so we are not really trained to do this. We professors, okay, and also you as students are not also trained this. I know that you have some courses in GV about how to talk well, how to speak well, how to make a good presentation to TCC or something like this. But mainly, the one I know, the ones I know actually, they don't really train you to make a nice slide. Okay, so the probability of you making a meeting slide, because this is what you're used to do. Actually, I see great meeting slides during the presentations in GV. Some of your work were good slides for meeting, but not for lectures. Okay, so this is a little bit what we are going to discuss here. Okay, may I go on? If you don't say anything, I'm going on.
Yes.
Yes, teacher, you can.
Thanks, guys. So I really like this photo of TED Talk. I use most of my classes about slides and presentations because it more or less summarizes what I've been talking to you the last, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what this talk is about, but I know what he's talking about. And the great thing about this slide at the top of his head is that this slide has no words. You don't see any word. You can say SEC is a word. And I say, no, it's not a whole word. It's an abbreviation of seconds. But I know if, for example, I don't know where I am. I've been, I don't know, teletransport to this room here. I can still know what he's talking about. He's talking about running, and not running like I'm running from a tiger or I'm running to save my life. No, but I'm running as a sport, and I'm running, and it's not a very modern running because the short is more or less vintage, and we don't have that cool sneakers, and the floor is a little bit rough, so it doesn't seem like a very modern photo. And this is confirmed by this number here, because this photo is black and white and you have a small filter making it like a drawing and not a very good picture. I am pretty sure this here is an ear. I'm pretty sure. And if they are talking about people that run and ear, and this doesn't seem like a normal track, probably is a running track, a sports track. Probably they are talking about time here. And if you have seen at least one athletic event, you know that 10 seconds, around 10 seconds, is a very good mark of 100 meters, 100 meters running. So you see here, probably if this guy, you know, the lecturer is giving me a time and a year, probably this is the world record. Or if I'm really wrong about this, he's only talking about this guy, the name of the guy, I don't know. And this guy got this record in this year, or I don't know, his personal record or something. But you see that I could get a lot of information with no words. The problem here with this kind of slide, because this is a good slide, because this slide is not competing with the guy we're going to see in an example in a few minutes, but this slide has only one problem. I don't really get the full information. This slide cannot be standard alone. This slide has to come with the lecture. This is a problem for example, if you use this kind of slide in a class. Actually, imagine that I don't know. You ask my slides in the end of the class, for example. You say, "Professor, can you give us the slides?" And even if I give the slides to you, if you haven't been in class today, you are going to watch to see this picture and say, "Okay, so what's she saying about it?" Because actually, this slide, my slide, and the slide of this guy has no meaning, has no full meaning, okay, if the lecture is not if you're not together. This is not going to happen in, let me get back, in meetings. Remember that meetings, I have a slide image. So even if you haven't been to the meeting, of course, you don't know what was discussed during the meeting, but you got the data. You understood the full data because the data is there, and the document is has to stand alone, okay, but not the lecture. Okay, so this is the main difference between a good slide to a meeting and a good slide to a lecture. Again, I took the liberty to get one of you, okay? This is a very good example of a consulting firm slide. So take a look at this slide. You don't really need someone saying anything in this slide. You can just print it and send by in PDF format to everyone because everything is there. So my point is, have you ever been to a class where the professor only said what was written in the slide and you asked yourself, okay, just to read the slide, let me read it home? Don't answer in a loud voice, but I had lots of professors like this. Actually, I was an intern. When you are in the PhD program, you have to be intern of a professor in any school, and I was an intern to a professor, it was not assistant, it was really intern of a professor that taught me exactly what not to do in class, because all the slides he had were lots of text. And he spent all the class reading the slides. So as an intern, I was bored. Imagine the students, okay? So again, this guy here, this slide here, it's a document. It's a good document, well designed. It's balanced. The font is okay. The colors are great. Congratulations to the group. But it's not to a lecture. It's to a meeting. Okay, so my question for you, it's a rhetorical question, okay? You made some good slides like these, sorry. My question is, could you do the same thing to a lecture, to a TED Talk or something like this? This is my question to you, my rhetorical question to you, okay? We are going to check afterwards if you can do this. Okay. You know, they say that dogs are needy because they jump around you and they throw the baba everywhere. But I think my cat is more or less like a dog. Actually, all my cats are like a dog. I had a cat, a girl cat. She was really weird because she used to eat anything like a dog. So if I forgot, for example, some rubber, for example, a rubber from a folder or hair rubber. If I forgot it over the table, she was going to eat it. and it's very, very, very bad to cats and to dogs, this kind of thing. And the other thing was really weird is that when I called her by name, she used to come. Really weird. Oh, Renata, my cats are not so food needy, no food needy. They are not so, but the fact that you have cats, you have already some extra points, so really cool. Probably I'm going to ask you to make a presentation about your cats, so everybody, your group will have an A in your. They're so cool. Não, minha fofura. So, getting back. Okay. I'm going to present some basic principles. Great. Thanks, Anata. I'd like to show you some principles, some design principles. Okay. Actually, most of your projects, they are not bad. They're really not bad at all. But there are some room to make it better. Okay, so my idea here is to help you to get better, because you are good already. Okay, you are average already, but you can be really, really better. Okay, so when you talk about designing or design of anything, you have mainly 4 principles, okay, to analyze. First one is about the canvas, the space that you have to design, to put the information. I'm going to say, I'm going to focus, of course, in slides here, but again, you can use this concepts to anything that you design, okay? So the first point that we're going to talk about the canvas, so the area that you have to work, okay? Then we're going to talk a little bit about fonts, when to use, which one to use, and I'm going to give some really cool hints about different fonts that you can use sometimes if you want. Then we are going to talk about colors, and then we're going to finish talking about photos and images. The main point here is not to give you some design theory. Of course, we're going to say I'm going to pass some concepts here, but the main idea here is to give some really practical hints. Okay, so if you have any, for example, oh, I tried to do something last week and I couldn't do how to do this, okay, let me know. Okay. So let's begin with canvas. Oh my God, it's horrible. Actually, it's not so bad because you have some contrast, you have but it's cluttered. The main word here is clutter. Okay. Of course, this is already something preposterous. Okay, because the guy put a photo of himself in several slides. So it was not only the first slide, but lots of slides, so it's horrible. Second, the title, okay, the title is very important in the slide, but it doesn't really have to occupy, I don't know, 35% of the whole slide, so it's horrible, okay? And here, as you can clearly see, this data is about this chart. Of course, we have a bad resolution here, but even with a good resolution, even when I could, I don't know, read better the amounts here and the names here, I could not, for example, read this value over here. So this is the kind of slide that I don't know what the person was thinking, but this slide is about no, don't ever. Okay. Remember something very important. Okay, slides are free. So if you do 1 slide or 72 slides, it's going to cost the same thing. Of course, you're going to spend more time doing it, but the slide itself is free. There are some gurus. Oh, let me get this. Okay. There are some gurus, some books, okay? I'm going to show you some of them later on if you want to take a look afterwards. There are some gurus that say that, oh, you have to have 3 slides. They give you the number, okay? I don't really like to give the number because it really depends on how I present. So, for example, in the case of my husband's lecture that had more than 200 slides, if you want, for curiosity, I could show you one day. Not all slides, but you could take a look at the content. The slides were more or less like a slideshow. You see, he was saying, and that things were happening, and then so it was something in motion. So you cannot put a number in this. You cannot say, oh, you have to spend 2 minutes in this slide. And the other point, for example, I gave one class to graduation course, or course like yours, and I spent 1 hour and 40 minutes with 2 slides. Of course, we had some discussion, but I didn't put. So my point is, be careful with this kind of number, of magical numbers, okay? Because they, of course, they cuff you, okay? Again, if you are completely lost, if it's your first presentation and you have no idea what to do, of course you can use the number of slides to more or less get an idea of how much time you're going to spend the whole presentation, okay? But for example, they say that you spend 2 to 3 minutes in each slide. So if you have, for example, TCC, you have 20 minutes, so you have to put 10 slides. I give the course OTCC, and I had some presentations this morning, and one of they had only 5 minutes to present, and there were presentations with 7, 8 slides in 5 minutes. That was okay. Okay, so sometimes you say, oh, okay, I have to spend 2 minutes in the slide, so I'm going to put lots of things because I have to spend two minutes in the slide. Okay, so be careful. Use the magical numbers if you need. Okay, they are a good parameter. No, they are a parameter, not a good one, but a parameter. Okay, but do not be cuffed by them. Okay. Oh, this is this is really horrible. Actually, I found these 2 examples here looking at Google for cluttered slides. If you look the words cluttered slides, you're going to find this kind of thing, okay? Because the expression cluttered slide or cluttered chart is very common in this kind of books, in this kind of analysis, okay? So take a look at this graph. Actually, there are lots of errors, design errors here, but not errors that say, oh my God, it's a mistake, not this, okay? But they make people really, really confused. So here, there are so many numbers that I don't know what to look or what to conclude from the slide, okay? And most of the time, probably this guy only wanted to say, for example, that, oh, Mercedes is better than everybody. So say this, Mercedes is better than everybody. Okay, so again, don't, yes, today I am picking the books from the shelf. Take a look at this book, it's in Portuguese, I think the one in English is somewhere. I think I have already shown you this cover. Don't make people think. They don't want to think. Again, if it is a meeting, that's okay, because we are discussing the amounts and we are discussing the figures, okay? But if you are making a presentation, don't make common people think. Oh, I'm not going to. The problem, the really big problem of this slide is not the lousy picture here, the lousy picture, okay? This is not the problem. Even this shadow here, this nonsense shadow here, this is not the problem. Or even the small numbers here that I cannot see, even if it was, if with a better resolution, I could not see. This is not really, for me, the problem. The problem for me are this fish here. What the heck? Why do we have fish? Considering it is a fish, I don't know. Because there are no words about fish. It's brain disorder, coma, heart failure. I don't know if fish give kidney malfunction. I don't know if the fish give everything, give the disease. If you buy the fish from Survey Kings, I don't know, okay, but I really didn't understand this fish. So, and you know that one of the most horrible slides that I've seen in my professor life, it was not in GV. It was a slide from a boy, and he was making a presentation about the supermarket market. And he had a slide with the agenda, that's okay. And each item of the agenda had a small shopping cart. So there are lots of shopping carts here showing the agenda. This was not the problem. The problem was that each slide, he had all the cards here showing the agenda through the whole presentation. So it was so cluttered, and I could take my eyes from those supermarket carts. I even dreamed about them. So I don't even like to talk about this kind of thing in Halloween week, you know. So where to start? A blank canvas is a very good place to start, a very good place to begin, okay? People, I have already noticed that people are a little bit, people don't like blank canvas. They don't like blank screens. They don't like blank things. They don't like empty spaces, okay? If we take a look at, let me come here to, let me turn off my fan and put my, wait up, my keyboard on. I still need a new computer, so remember that if you want. When you begin a new PowerPoint file, I don't know you, but lots of people try or to already take a theme, a template here, or they, in the middle of the process, they decide for one or other template here, okay? Of course that you guys are very, very smart, and you probably discover that these templates here, they get used a lot very quickly. So when, for example, when you use Keynote or even a new PowerPoint version, you know that you have some templates, some cool new templates, okay? But these new templates are going to be old in about 2 to 3 months, okay? What happens is that you go to Google or something like this, and then you look for template, PowerPoint, and then, or Keynote, etc., or Google Slides, and you get, oh, parentheses, I'm going to say PowerPoint, okay, most of the time, but the things that I say to PowerPoint are the same for Google Slides and Keynote, okay, nothing personal. Yeah, something personal about these two things, but they have they have mostly the same resources. So it's just so I don't have to say the 3 names all the time, okay? So I'm going to use PowerPoint as a synonym of everybody. So you can find great templates. Actually, one of the groups, if I'm not wrong, the project from last class, you used a template. No problem, be my guest. I don't mind. Actually, I prefer that you exercise the creation by yourselves, okay? But I have really not any problems on using templates, okay? The problem of templates is that are 2. First, who said that the template is good? And remember that we talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So there are good slides that are not beautiful. And there are some very nice, very cool slides there that are not good. Okay, so be careful with functionality and beauty and beauty. Okay, the fact that you have a very wow slide doesn't mean that it's good for your presentation. Okay, take a look at PowerPoint again. PowerPoint outstand itself this time because it creates this design ideas. Okay, and if you want, you can put a video in the cover of your presentation. So, okay, you were not enough, you didn't have enough with the clutter slides or the ugly slides, and now you have a video in the slide. And the problem with using this kind of video is that, again, it's very cool. It's nice. It's beautiful. All the particles, all the red particles. I feel, oh my God, I feel I'm in Mars. I don't know. But the problem is that this animation here has no purpose whatsoever. What's the point of having this purpose? Because it's nice. This is, oh my God, it's going to crack my screen. No, okay. So be careful that when you use any design, the design has to have purpose. Okay, you cannot use something just because it's beautiful in slide, in design of books or applications or software or website or reports, etc., etc. If you put any element in this white canvas here, okay, that doesn't have a purpose, you are only cluttering the design. You're going, of course, probably you're not going to get this here, okay? Probably not this here, also not this here, but you see that you have here, in this case, elements that only are here to clutter, okay? And my idea is try to work with less content, with less elements that could only clutter your slide. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to be a minimalist here. Okay, there is a very oh my God, let me get rid of this because this is really making me remember that Pokemon cartoon that made kids have some epileptic crisis. I'm almost having this. So there are, for example, there's a very popular book in presentation design called Presentation Zen. Okay, the idea of the Presentation Zen of Gar Reynolds is that the design has to be Zen, has to be minimalist, has to be simple. Sometimes when we are dealing with data, this is not so possible, of course. Sometimes I really need to show a chart. So the chart is not minimalist, is not Zen at all, okay? But the main message here is that you have to try to avoid this kind of excess. Okay. Oh my God, I did again. I really like, and the possibilities are enormous. So, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So let me not say it again. Take a look at this for a few seconds. Let me know if some of you didn't read in the order that the person wanted. Please. Most of you read the order that people, the order that this guy wanted. Is natural, and we do this not because we are made to do this, because we are, I don't know, educated. No. This is only about design. This game here, this almost a joke here, is made to show us some principles of design. For example, take a look at this cover here. He knows, the guy that made this cover is nice. He knows the order that we look. So if you study a little bit about this, you're going to see that websites, applications, and slides, videos, posters, etc., we humans, we have some pattern of looking at things. So even if you don't have this difference of designs here, because you can see that this font here, take a look here, this font is darker than the other one. This has sorry, the color here is a little bit clearer than this here on the bottom. So this small differences, even if you don't have it, we have some pattern of looking at things. If you take a look at magazines are very nice to see because they are very patterned. If you look at magazines, you're going to see that most advertisements are on the right page. And why? Because people look first at the right page. So if you open the magazine wants you to see the advertiser, and then afterwards look for the content that is on the left side. So of course we don't use so many magazines today, but there are cool analysis. Sorry, there are very cool analysis about websites and applications in the internet. So so the principles here are the same. Okay. What we have specifically here is some of the four principles of design. First, it's about the size of things. So, of course, the biggest the biggest font is what you read first. So you put very big in your slide what is more important. Sometimes what you want people to see first is the title. So the title is going to be big. It's going to be bigger than the other, than the rest of the slide. Sometimes, okay, the title is okay, but I don't want people to look at the slide first. I want to the title first. I want people to look at the data or the chart first. So you can make the title a little bit smaller. The title is not going to outstand from the rest of the slide. Okay, so you choose the size of things to make things more important or less important in visualization. Okay, begin to pay attention when you are on your smartphone, for example, how very simple applications, I don't know, bank applications or not blank applications because they are horrible sometimes, but take a look at, I don't know, a Facebook application, for example, Instagram application, how they put the size of the font, what is, which one is bigger, which one is is smaller, okay? The second pattern the second principle when you think about the canvas is the proximity of things. So you can see here that this guy here, they are close. They are really close together. So if you read these and then you read this, and you read this first, and then you're going to read this the second, okay? Because this guy on the top, it should be the first one, but the size caught you here. And then you read this. The third here could compete with the one on the top, but this one here is very close to the second. So you push the eye of the person to, okay, I'm on the second, so I'm going to read the third. And only in the last, you're going to see the forced item that is, I don't know where. So for example, sometimes, let me show you an example here really quick. Okay. For example, let me turn off this. Okay. So let me get rid of this. So let's suppose, for example, that I'm going to, let me get a, okay, no, okay, let me get a dummy text here, okay? A dummy text is a text that doesn't mean anything, just to fill space, okay? So it's very common when you design things. So let me put another font here, and okay, so take a look at this here, okay? Notice that this guy and this guy and this guy, I'm going to do something very simple. I'm going to change the space between the lines. Most of the time we use the simple one. It's the normal one, okay? Because you have a normal space between the lines here. This is common. Actually, people that study types, they say that this separation here, this space between the letters is the optimal space for reading. But when they say for reading, they are saying for reading, okay? Not for a slide, okay? So if you put this apart, if you make not one, but multiple of, I don't know, 1.5, it's going to be horrible, but that's okay, okay? I have another situation, and let me put here, the one I like the most to use is multiple of 0.8. Okay. Wait, let me just. Okay. When you see this text, you say that, okay, no problem, okay. When I use this, sorry, it was really not the effect that I wanted. Wait, oops, clicar, and then I key, and then I key, and this is bem, okay, and then I key, key. I don't know what which language I'm speaking now. Okay, so that's it. So I have here, it's not bad, it's okay. Actually, this is the optimal way for reading. Okay, so computer science, not computer science, but typology science knows that this is the optimal way to read, okay? But again, we are not reading the text, big text. We are reading, for example, a headline or just a sentence or something like that. So I can mess with the space between lines. So I can, it wasn't what I wanted, but that's okay. Take a look at this one here. this this guy here that it's a little bit closer. I don't know if you see, but this here looks more cozy. They are more united. This words here, they are together. They are stronger. Actually, they look like stronger than this here. Let me get this. Okay, it's not going to work as I wanted. So this second here is really nice because sometimes you have to put, for example, two quotables, two quotes, and then you have to separate them. So you have to tear them apart, but each one has to be cozy. They have to be together. Okay. This here, it's horrible in this point because you see that the words are apart from themselves, among the from I don't know. They are apart, they are separated. So they don't really seem to be united. They don't seem to be the same form or in the same box in the same place. Okay. So again, when we talk about proximity, it's not only about proximity from external elements, but also between not about, sorry, it's not proximity from the other guys, external guys, but from your words or even your lines. There are some other things that you can play with, not lines here, but with words, but it's very dangerous, okay? So use carefully, is to mess with. Mainly, for example, sometimes with numbers is really cool. For example, if you want to say that 89% of something, 72% of something, okay? Let me put in another, okay, and then let me put a very large number here. So when I make a very large number, you see that the numbers are separated again because it's more readable when you have a big text. So in this case, to make this number more cozy, more nice to see, it's really weird, you may do, for example, something like this. You can get these guys together. Very tight is still not so tight. So let's get condensed by, I don't know, let's try 7 points more. Let's put more. Okay, let's put, I don't know, 11 points. Yeah, that's okay. And this percentage is not so nice because it's big, not so important. So let's put a superscript or something like that, or a subscript, I don't know, but actually you can even do this. Actually, you can even do this, wait, here. So my point is, you can play with proximity inside inside sorry, between the lines, or even here. I think this is going to be better. And let me, I don't know why I created this one here. Okay. So this here, the 72 here is a little bit more balanced than this one. And of course, I saved some space, some not so very important space here between some loose space between the characters. Okay, so so you can play. Of course, again, be careful because you may make things less readable. Okay, so really be careful. Please don't use this kind of thing during in a big text. Okay, so like a Word document or something, because it's you're going to really mess with the readability. Okay, but when you're talking about presentations, you can play a lot. Okay? The third point here is the contrast. Okay, let me get back here. Contrast of dark thing, a dark letter over white. It's not even clear, okay? It's the problem here is white. So this contrast here, because this black is more or less 100% black, and the white is 0% black. So black and white, they are the most, the highest contrast you can have, okay? So the highest contrast in this case, the more readable, more you get the attention of the person, okay? So this black over white, or navy blue over white, very dark colors over white, they work very well to catch the attention, okay? The negative contrast, when you, when you have a darker background, and then you have a white, white or a very clear font or image, etc. You have a great contrast as well, but not so contrast than the opposite. So we read better black over white than white over black. Okay. Of course, there are several discussions about if I can use a the dark background or not, okay? There are no really rules, but it's really nice to know where you are presenting. So, for example, in GV, I know that most of our classes, our classrooms are lighter. They're light. They have light coming from the window, and they have the luminosity from the corridor, and sometimes you have, most of the time you have to have your lights on, because otherwise the students are going to sleep. So you have to, in this case, since I have a lighter room, I prefer lighter backgrounds, okay? Because this contrast is a little bit less, a little bit more difficult to read than this one. If I have a very dark room, so I'm presenting in a very big space that I know that it's going to be very dark, like a movie for some, for instance, then I will prefer make in a darker background, simply to prevent people to make like this because the light is so big, okay? So dark spaces, I prefer dark backgrounds. Lighter spaces, clearer spaces, I prefer clear backgrounds, okay? So another example is, is this. Same thing, okay? But in here, I have the fourth, the fourth principle. Okay, it's the same joke here, it's the same game. It's about color. Okay, some color are more chamative, are more yay than the others. Okay, so of course we use some colors to call the attention, to get the attention from people. We can, and we going to talk a little bit about colors in a few moments, but and colors for me, it's a very difficult thing. I'm really bad at colors, so horrible at combining colors, so I really always need help. But you can use to call the attention. One thing is important, when you use a dark background like this, notice that the only colors that are going to work are white and yellow. Okay, probably not now that we are with Zoom and we are in our computers or cell phones. So the contrast here in your cell phone or in your desktop or laptop is very high, or your TV is very high. So you can really see, even if you have a dark background, you can see the colors, okay? The problem is when you go to a physical classroom, and we hope that next semester we are back in school, and you're going to try to remember what I'm saying, and notice that the colors are not vivid anymore. They are not so bright. Why? Because in the computer, we have the light coming to us. That's why we get tired looking at the monitor, etc. When I have the projector is projecting. Of course, there is light, but the light is getting to the wall and then reflecting to us. And the luminosity of the projector, the contrast of the projector is very, very, very smallest than TV or notebooks, etc. And by the way, when you look for a projector to buy, you check the text of contrast. For example, if you want to buy a projector to project movies on your yard or near the pool, for example, or I mean outside, not inside a room, but outside the room or outside your house, for example, you have to buy a projector with high contrast. It's more expensive. Otherwise, you're not going to see the colors very right, okay? Because they're going to be all like esmaecido, okay? Blurry. No, it's not blurry, but it's more like fading. You see, something more fade. You got the idea. May I, let me think. May I give a suggestion? I don't want to begin the fonts and stop in the middle to have a break because of the time. So it's 8:30. Would you mind making our break a little bit earlier, and then we get back in 15 minutes? Would you mind?
No problem at all.
No problem. A good idea, in fact.
Camila, your voice is showing us that, oh my God, that was a good idea.
I'm just hungry. I need to have dinner right now.
Okay, okay. So it's 8:32. Let's get back at 8:50. How about this?
Okay.
Okay, so that's it. People, see you in 20 minutes. So let's get back to let's get back to work. The sooner we begin, the sooner we finish. So let me only get this a little bit pointed. So okay. I think this is better. So we were talking about talked about Canvas, and now we are going to talk a little bit about fonts. Okay, so let me check something here. So I hope Camila could have the dinner.
I did.
I haven't, so let's talk afterwards about what can we eat. If you're going to send some pizza to me or something like this.
Deal.
So let's talk about fonts now. Fonts, of course, we all know we have lots of fonts to choose when working with slides, when working with data. We have already talked about this, but one of the things before talking about fonts, let's talk a little bit about text, okay? When we use a text with when we use a slide with lots of text, we are making the slide compete with us. If you get any lecture or any documentary about neuroscience or cognitive science, you will see that words for us are very complicated to understand. Of course, in our own language, we can understand, but even in our language, if you are, for example, listen to someone talking to you. So you are having a conversation with a boyfriend, girlfriend, a friend, father, mother, etc. And the person is talking to you, and at the same time, you try to read something, you will see that you cannot do both. Or you listen, or you either you listen or you read. It's very, very difficult to do both. Of course, there are some people that they manage to do this, but it's the exception, okay? Common people have several difficulties to achieve this both stimuli, okay? Second point about text is that when, for example, when a lecturer puts something like this on the slide, he, of course, or he or she tends to read what is written. So remember that when we put lots of text in the slide, we are creating the cheat sheet to ourselves. So I put lots of things in the slide so I can remember what to say. By the time I use text like this, like a whole paragraph, I tend to turn to the slide and begin to read. And why? Because this is more comfortable than try to remember everything that is written over there. The problem is that, and if you have nothing to do Saturday night, you may get to Google and get advertência, and get this notice, this FBI notice, or this DVD or Blu-ray notice, and try to make the exercise. Put it, you know that this kind of warning shows during, I think, 10, 15 seconds. So try to make the exercise. First, you put the notice, you put the warning, and read only using your head. So read mentally. And then you go back and read again, but out loud. You will see that if you if you read out loud, I don't know, probably you were going to read the whole first paragraph, and that's it. When we read mentally, we can go more or less until the middle of the second paragraph. My point is, when we read mentally, of course, we read super more quickly than when we read out loud, because we don't have to say the word. So when we say, we spend more time doing this. And when we are in a situation like this, the lecturer, this guy here, by the time he begins to read, supposing the new consumer model, blah, 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 of course, I begin to read with him, but I read mentally. So by the time he finishes the first paragraph, probably I have already finished the whole slide. And what happens is that I know that for the next few seconds, he's going to be reading the rest of the slide. So I get bored and do something else. If I don't have a smartphone, I can even do my crosswords like this guy here. This guy is doing the crosswords. And, or I don't know, updating the grocery list. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not interested in anymore. Okay, so again, let me get back here. I'm going to use this example again. This is a good example when I'm in a meeting, because we are discussing all this data, and I read, and actually there's no there are a lot of words, but it's not, of course, so horrible than the other one. So this is a good slide, okay? But this is for us to read together. This is for us to discuss together. Because a meeting is a group of people united to discuss among themselves. The problem is, when I'm in a lecture or in a class, for example, I have the structure that one person is talking and the others are listening or pretending to be listening. So, we are not going to read anything together. So this here is good, but when I put the same amount of text in a slide for a lecture, you are going to get this scenario here. Okay, not so bad, not so horrible, but it's going to be as bad as. Okay, I don't know, it wasn't today, but I think last week, the presentation in OTCC, I had one, no, it was today, I had one student that his presentation was more or less like this. He made a copy paste from parts of his written work and put in the slide. Okay, so it happened to me, and I'm experienced. I know it's a student, etc., etc. But by the time he put the slide and began to read, I didn't pick up the phone because no, but I was, oh my God, so I say hi to the cat, and so you miss the attention, and in this case you miss the crowd, the people there. They were paying attention to you, and now they have a reason to not pay attention to you. Okay, so in lectures, this is horrible, but when you are a professor, you lose the students, so it's horrible. Okay. Fonts, there are some classification of fonts, types of fonts. Of course, this is not for you to know by heart. It's just for you to know that exists, okay? And in some, I'm going to show you some tools, some cool tools, but it's a way for you to learn a little bit more about font, okay? Because most of people know that, oh, font is Arial and Arial or Times New Roman, and that's it. Calibri and Roboto and so on. But there are some families in fonts, okay? They call font families or classification. The main classifications are, the first one is sans serif or sans serif, okay, without serif, okay. Serif, I'm going to show big in a few minutes, but serif is, for example, when you have a letter like this, and you have another letter with the small sticks here on the bottom. It's like Arial and Times New Roman. So Times New Roman has this stick here, this small line on the bottom. This line here is the serif, okay? So you have a fonts that don't have serif. They are Arial, Franklin Gothic, Calibri, Helvetica, etc. Helvetica, if I'm not wrong, people that use Mac, if you're a Mac user, probably you have Helvetica or you have some rights to use Helvetica because it's a font, it's almost a Apple font, okay? But PC people don't have by default. But you can get Helvetica to use, okay? It's a very traditional, it's a very classic, let's put it this way. It's a very classic font. It's a very good readability, okay? You have fonts that are serif or with serif that are Garamond and Times New Roman, okay? You have handwriting fonts that Comic Sans and Lucida handwriting. The handwriting fonts are those who are supposed to pretend to be someone writing or writing by hand. So they have they look like they are written by hand, okay? They are really great for some things, but be careful to use it, okay? Comic Sans, for example, is unfortunately used as a normal font, and it's really horrible because a Comic Sans is a font for comics. You know, comics from Batman to Monica. But I have seen very serious classes or lectures in which the slides were written in Comic Sans, and for me, you see, it's a font a little bit thought a little bit. It's not straight. So I really think that when you have a serious work, you use serious font, okay, and not Comic Sans. The problem with Lucida handwriting and other handwriting fonts is that it's very difficult to, not very, but it's the readability is not so good as the other ones. So you get here Lucida handwriting. It's a beautiful font. I'm not discussing this. It's a nice font, but it's not so easy to read than Helvetica or Garamond or so on. So imagine your TCC or imagine a report written in Lucida handwriting. So it's more or less ridiculous, okay? And there are a very special family of fonts called display. They are fonts to have impact, some kind of impact. So they are good for titles. They are good for not only the slide title, but the presentation title. So the title in the first slide, for example, the name of the presentation, it's really cool to use a display font, okay? Of course, we have some more cute font like Cooper Black and Broadway, etc. I personally, I don't use so much display fonts. I prefer, I stay with the basics. It's like you cannot err so much when you use the basics, okay? So when you try to innovate, you have to be really good to innovate. Otherwise, you have a great risk of being, I don't know, bad, okay? So you have, as I said, you have the serif, okay, and the sans serif. For presentations, okay, try to use more, the sans serif. And why? Because the readability of big things is better when you use some without serif, okay? When you're going to write a report or a TCC or something like this, so it's a text with paragraphs and lots of text together, then you use the serif fonts, okay? Studies show that this kind of fonts, serif fonts, they make the reader more comfortable, so they don't they don't make the reader so tired, okay? So just memorize this for presentations, posters, posters, I don't know, movie posters or something like this. Title of a book, for example. This here, take a look. The name of the author is with the sans serif, with the serif, but take a look at the title, the most important thing. So it's more readable when you put on distance. For those who go to see the family in the country, or it's going to travel now this weekend, this holiday, take a look at the billboards on the road. Most of the billboards, the best readables billboards are made with without serif fonts. Okay, so it's not a coincidence. It's really about design. Okay. Of course, there is exception when we talk about applications and websites. Study shows that the best readability is this kind of font without serif. Doesn't matter if you're reading a big text or a small text. So my point is when mobile or when online, like website or use a sans serif font, and then you're not going to be to be so wrong. Okay. So before and of course you have the display, okay, the display font. So try for the presentation, use both of one of these fonts. Oh, Professor, I saw one slide, very cool, that used a serif font. Great. It's not wrong, okay? But it's more readable if you use this without serif. But for example, all my presentations, I avoid using this. But let's suppose that I have a client, and the logo type of the client is, for example, a lawyer firm, and then the logo type is with the serif font, and then they are all classy or so. Why not use everything with serif? No problem, okay? But in doubt, try to use sans serif, because then you're not going to the probability of making a mistake is small. Before continuing, let me show you something. I don't know if you know, of course we have here in, where am I here? We have lots of fonts. I work with this, so I have some fonts that probably you don't have. But there are very cool fonts in Windows, in Mac. So I think we are pretty sure we have enough resources, okay? I mean, we have resources to work. We have fonts enough, okay, to work with in our operational systems, okay, Windows and iOS. But of course, sometimes you are dealing with a client, or you want to make, for example, I don't know, you're making a presentation about Star Wars, or you want to have a specific font for something. So what do you do? Okay. There are some sites, some websites that you can download for free, or you can buy some fonts. But a very nice tip is Google Fonts. Google has Google Fonts. Google has a website. Actually, we use a lot when we deal with websites, and for those who are who have already a program in some website or something like this, most of the websites get some Google Fonts. Google allow any website to use any font they have for free. What is really cool is that Google Fonts also let us download the font and use in our computer. So let's suppose that I am, I don't know, let me get this one, this really ridiculous one, but let's suppose that I want to, I don't know, something about Halloween. I am with Halloween in my mind today. So I can download the font here, okay? And I can use the font, and I can install the font. And so if you want to if you have any trouble, if you want to try afterwards, and if you have any trouble installing, let me know. I can help you to do this, okay? I don't know if you have already installed a font in your life. So here in the front page, in the main page of Google Fonts, you can check the categories here. So you can, for example, you are looking for a very cool font, serif font, to use in a report or use in your, I don't know, somewhere. So you have here some different, so you see typology is a very cool thing, because the fonts are different, but they look the same, but they are not the same. So there are some very small differences between them. So it's really nice. Okay. So for example, this one here, it's a very thin, it's a very condensed font. So you can take a look here and amuse yourself, okay, with this font. Of course, the problem is, and I'm pretty sure that some of you that use Mac had already this problem, that you make a very nice presentation, a very beautiful presentation, and then by the time you get to GV and you open the presentation in PowerPoint, all the fonts were like this. And why? Because you use the font that does not exist in Windows, okay? Of course, one way to get rid of this problem is to transform your PowerPoint into a PDF file. I really don't like to do this, because then I'm going to lose all the animation that I work. And I work a little bit with animation, you have noticed, I think, to make a point. So here I'm saying, oh, look, that's great, but here now it's a less contrast to say, look, use with caution. So the idea of using animation, if you say to me, you cannot use animation, I'm going to say, oh my God, okay, but I'm going to be so. One hint that, and I learned about this not a lot of time ago, is that if you, and you probably have this option in Mac as well, okay? So let's pretend that I'm going to use a very weird KG. Yeah. So this is a font that I use in videos, for example, when I'm doing some videos. So I know that I have this font here, okay? But I know that GV doesn't have, and probably you don't have as well, okay, because I bought it. What can I do? I can, by the time I save, when I save the presentation, I can come here at ferramentas, general options. No, I'm wrong. Tools, I said ferramentas. Oh, I think it's saving options. Yeah, that's it. For those, of course, with Windows, in Save here, if you scroll a little bit, you can see here to insert fonts in the file. So what PowerPoint's going to do here is more or less what PDF does to us. When you convert something to PDF, PDF brings the font with it, with the file. Okay, so it's by default. In here, I can do the same thing, but with PowerPoint. So in here, of course, the file is going to be a little bit bigger, of course, but I can put, for example, my presentation in a pen drive and give to someone or send to an email to anyone, anywhere. And the font that I chose is going to be together. Okay, so it's really nice, the really nice option. So you don't have to be aware, you don't have to be worried, okay, about what about the fonts that you use. So you can be more you can be more creative. Okay, let me show you only an example, very quickly example that gave me some trouble in GV some years ago, just because I forgot about getting my own laptop to the school. Wait, just 1 second, then I can find this in here. I made a presentation about about quality in service to the post-graduation course MBM. And then here, MBM, and then I think it's this class here, one of those. So, and I have, because of the way it was not this, yeah, this one. Okay, so it was about talking about NPS and serve qual, and it was just a joke, just to be nice, just to be, so it's more or less I was writing on the blackboard, okay? So, but the problem in here is that they are really weird fonts. They are KG 10,000 reason. And by the time I got to GV, what happened was this here. So, it's more or less ridiculous, okay? And this is not so bad, okay? Sometimes it's horrible, for example, when, I don't know, it makes a very weird font, for example. So my point is, it's a very cool thing to do, okay? To save with your own fonts. First, font family. Second is, font size, okay? You have the phrase that these gurus here, the authors, these researchers about slides, about presentation slides, is that you have to put the font in a size that the last person in the room could read comfortably. So if you are, for example, in your smartphone watching this presentation, watching this class, you probably are not reading what's written on the board here, on the screen here in the stage. Okay, so it has to be too big to the last person in the room. Of course, if you get the font bigger, and then you make things more comfortable to the reader. So it's not only about being able to read or not, but to be comfortable reading. Okay, so people doesn't have to do like this and try to watch what's going on. And so size does matter. People like to put smaller font because they want to put lots of things in the slide. So let me get where were I here? So this guy here, for example, okay, or the font has to be small, otherwise he cannot put everything in the slide. The same point in that slide that I said that it's okay, that is great as a consulting, as a corporate slide, because normally this kind of presentation is not in a big room, it's in a small room, meeting room. So it's okay, everybody can read in a meeting room because it's on the television or it's on a projector. I gave some classes in school, actually at GV, but GV from Rio. And the classrooms, they don't have projection and they only have TV sets, big TVs. But one slide like this in that kind of room is not readable. Okay. Probably, of course, the title is readable. This I can read with some effort, but for example, the legend, the chart, I cannot read. Okay, so size does matter. Think about your crowd and not yourself. Okay? Next topic of fonts. No. Next topic, colors. Okay. Colors, people. We have the whole theory about colors. Okay. I'm not going to be spending so much time here. So I'm only going to give you some hints. Okay. This here is the color wheel. It's very common. If you put color wheel on Google, you're going to see lots of color wheels. And this wheel gets the main colors and put in a wheel. This distribution of the colors are related to, for example, how you can combine the colors. So color wheel is very useful. Of course, nowadays we don't have to have I used to have a color wheel in paper a long time ago. When I wanted to see how to match colors, I used the color wheel. But today, of course, we have websites and apps that can do the job for us. Okay, but let me show how it works. The color wheel. First thing that's really nice is that I think I've talked about it last class or the other class, I don't remember, is that we have cool colors and warm colors, okay? Cool colors draw less attention than warm colors. So warm colors are more vivid, are more, come on, let's get up, and the cool color is more like, oh, it's late, let's sleep, okay? So if you pay attention at branding, for those who are in the branding class, pay attention at the logo types. The logo types represent sometimes the relation between the product and the consumer. So if you take a look at McDonald's is a great example. The colors, the warm colors, they tend to excite us. And by the time we are excited, we want to eat, we want to consume. So take a look at McDonald's, is yellow and red. Yellow and red are colors that make us hungry, okay? It's not that I put this glass and I say, oh, I'm hungry. It's not like this, okay? It's a topic called color psychology, or psychology of colors. I think it's psychology of colors, and they try this. They made studies about this. Okay, so you don't make a fast food restaurant in cool and nice and soft colors. They are all aggressive. They are all warm. They want excitement. Okay. If you take a look at hospitals and hotels, and you see that it's a place to sleep, it's a place to relax. If you go, for example, to a spa, you're going to see that you don't have things in red in a spa because you are going to the spa to to be relaxed, not excited. So they use cool colors to make you more soft, okay? Of course, there is something about style, and of course, there are exceptions about the usage of color, etc. For example, you can find a hospital. Now you can find a hospital with the logo is in this color here, more or less like this spectrum in this place here, okay? I hate it. I think it's horrible, okay? But nowadays you can find, but you may see that this kind of more warm, this kind of warmer colors are used more to youth, to excitement, to entertainment, to etc. Okay. Of course, here's just a simplification, okay, of the color wheel to show how combination works. For me, one of the biggest problems in the world is to combine colors. I joke with my mother. My mother and my sister, they are very nice in fashion. They know colors. They understand how to dress, how to use makeup and so on. And I'm horrible in this. And I joke, actually, my mom began saying this, and it's really, actually, it's not a joke, it's real. My wardrobe is a little bit monochromatic. You know, my wardrobe is black and white and a little bit blue and a little bit red, and that's it. Because I'm horrible in combination. So the probability of me living like, I don't know, yes, you know, I think you have heard about him. Of course, I don't, the probability of living the house like this is very small, okay, of course, but let's say that I'm not far from this, okay, so I'm horrible at this. Some people have this very naturally, and others can use some rules to decide colors, okay? The basic combination is the combination called primary. If you combine the three primary colors, I don't know if you remember from school, the three primary colors are yellow, red, and blue. These three colors are the basics to any other color in the world, okay? And I don't know if you remember, in school we used to get the paint and put yellow plus blue equals green, and so on and so on. So if you make a presentation using mainly these three colors, that's okay. Okay, because the combination is right. The combination is harmonical. Okay, but we have a problem here. It's primary. This combination looks like you are in kindergarten. It looks like that you were a child. Child use primary colors. Okay, of course, it's a good combination. But you may see that not adult places don't use this kind of combination. McDonald's does, because it's going to attract children. Okay, but not adult place. You don't go to a barzinho with these colors. Okay, and barzinho has these colors all along. There are a second type combination. The secondary, they use secondary colors. It's a triangle. You see here that I'm isosceles triangle, and again another triangle. So if I turn this triangle, I'm going to have combinations, secondary combinations in this case, that I can use with no problem. So it may look to you that, wow, green and orange is a good combination. I don't know, maybe to a blouse is not a good combination for you to go to a party. But for example, if you need to make a chart and you have two columns you can put one in green, one in this tone of green, one in orange, this tone in raw orange, and you're going to be fine. So combinations are really good to charts, to titles, to make some items on your slide. So it's a good tool to know. It's a good tool to know. Oh my God. More combinations. There are the analogous. You saw here that we were using the triangle here. We use a little arch to make colors that can be combined using the circle, using the wheel you can get any three of these colors, and you can use in your website, in your presentation, or whatever you want. This is nice. For example, the second one, it's not monochromatic because you have a small green item there, but it's very soft. So it's not aggressive. It's a very cool combination. So if you want to make a website for a healthcare a healthcare company, or a hotel, or a place where you can relax, you can use these colors because they are cool and they combine among them. Okay. There are also combinations that are complementary. In this case, you pick the opposite. So you can combine purple with yellow. I know it's creepy, but in the 80s, you were super in fashion if you use this combination. So today, probably it's not trendy, but anymore, it's going to be trendy in a few years, maybe, because it's cycle. But you could use without being cheesy, without being cafona. Okay. And also you can use any other complementary combination. Of course, people, you're not going to get a wheel and print and try to, it's ridiculous, okay? So if you put a color wheel in on Google, you're going to find lots of places, lots of tools, okay? One that I like is, colors, is the tools from Adobe. Adobe, for those who don't know, Adobe is the creator of Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, and lots of other creative softwares, okay? They have here color.adobe.com, and they have lots of tools here for free. Here is in Portuguese, but you can put in English if you want. Let's put in English here. So one thing that you can find is, for example, I want the color wheel square, but I want this combination here. So you can really play with one color, and it gets to you the rest of the combination. So if you, for example, have a logo type, let's suppose that we want to make a presentation about GV. So I have here, for example, I have here the logo type from GV, and I want to combine. So my presentation is going to be all based in the colors of GV. Okay. So what can I do? I can get the logo type. Actually, in here we have. Let's find. I think it's here. No, trends, no, libraries, no. I'm going to find somewhere. But there is somewhere I can upload here. I can upload a file here. For example, let me show you first this. Let me get any image here. So I'm getting, for example, let me get here, this crocodile here, for example. I'm going to get the crocodile to here. So Adobe. So let's suppose that this crocodile is Givet crocodile, for example. So it's getting the colors that that can be extracted from my image or my photo. So I can, for example, use this combination to make, for example, the whole presentation. Okay. And I can, of course, make some variation. So I want to make a darker Halloween crocodile or brighter, so on. Okay. But sometimes you want, for example, to make this combination not with these colors that we get from an image, but from a specific color. Okay, so let me show you how to do this using only PowerPoint. Okay, if you are using PowerPoint 365, it's the only way actually for now. If you don't have this version here, there, if I'm not wrong, there is a way of doing this using Paint from Microsoft, but I'm not sure. Okay, and Mac, sorry, but I'm not pretty sure how to deal with Mac. So take a look if you have this tool. Okay. You can get this from, sorry, you create a small square here somewhere. And here in preenchimento, you get the eyedropper, conta-gotas. This eyedropper this tool is common in any graphic software like Photoshop, Illustrator, etc. It drops, it gets a drop of color of anything that I want. So if I, of course, here it's white, the small square is white, but if I put over the FGV, for example, it gets the exactly the same. Take a look. It's the same color as my logo type. So it's really nice when we need to discover which color I'm dealing with, and I don't know, and I don't have a Photoshop or something like this to check. So in here, I know now this is the color. So I come here to more colors just to check what color this is. So in here, I have the composition of the color. Let me tell you something. When you work with screens, okay. So here, when you work with, okay, sorry people, when I say okay, it's because the computer is crazy. Okay. When you work with a screen, okay, all the colors that you see are formed by a combination of three colors: R, red, G, green, and blue. RGB. Okay, RGB, your cell phones, your tablets, any screen, your TV, the colors of your TV are composed by pixels that paint in red, green, and blue, and the combination of these three colors show the colors that you see. Okay, just a parenthesis. The problem is that, and I suffered a lot when I was a little bit younger than you, because I had the color in RGB, and by the time I tried to print, the color was completely different, because printing use another system. Printing use CMYK. So we see it's blue, it's magenta, it's more or less this red here, a little bit darker, yellow, and black. So this is the combination of the the ink in your printer. If you check your printer, you see you have 4 cartridges, one for each color, okay? So why I gave all this information to you? Because here, when I try here more colors, most of the time we see this options here, but we can make it very customized. And here I have the definition, let's put this way, the combination of red, green, and blue that I have. So when I'm here on our screen, I can here, for example, I can select the color mode. Let's use the RGB, and I can put here the same amount. So red is number 2. Not green is number 58. So I can put exactly the same color, okay? If I don't want to 58, blue is 120. Okay, now I'm here. So this color here that we created is exactly the same color as the logotype of Chevet. So if I want to make a presentation and I want to use, for example, complementary colors, I can use this combination here, and so on, so on. Okay, so let me put this at the base color. So this is the base color and the rest. So any color of these ones that I use are going to be, I'm going to be combining with the color of the logotype. Okay, so some of you may really be wondering why do I have all this trouble to get this combination? Actually, let me tell you something. You don't really have to have the whole trouble. Okay, I'm just showing you the possibilities, the tools that professionals use. But it's nice to know at least that they are there. Mainly not for a presentation that you are going to give to, I don't know, your class or DCC or something like this. But for example, sometimes you may be invited to make a big lecture in a, I don't know, if in a symposium or for a company or for the alumni from GV, something like this, and you want to make things really cool. So it's nice to know at least that they are there, okay? Of course, you can explore, no, not explore, sorry. You can, I said no explore. What part, which part of no explore didn't you? Here, I can use, of course, I can get some trends, okay? If it's going to run. So there are here some inspiration, let's put this way, okay, with colors. And you can also, I don't really like so much because I get a little bit lost, but you can put on a Google called palette generator or something like this. And then you can have, for example, this Color Mind. They already offer some combinations, some random combinations, okay? So I don't really like so much because it's random, okay? But actually, if you take out the generator, I think it's even better here. So you can get here, yeah, this is the kind of one that, this is the kind that I was looking for. So you can be inspired here for any, so you are trying to, thinking about a company to open, and then you think about the logotype. So you can get here some combinations to check, okay? Be careful only with, when you talk about colors, start. Wait, where are we? Ah, sorry, here. Be careful with contrast in colors, okay? Be careful with dark colored backgrounds, okay? I think you noticed, I don't know if you noticed already, that most of my slides are in white background, okay? I like the blank canvas, and actually it's easier to deal with images, but this here for me, I think it's very difficult to get fonts and to get colors that contrast with the background. So I really use any color background just when I want, or something I want to differentiate this slide from the others, and so okay. So be careful with this kind of background. My hint: backgrounds that are not so very bright, like white and light gray, light red, light pink, light anything. So it's a little bit more dark. Use font in white or yellow, but it's white or yellow. Okay, if you try, even if you put on your computer, let me show you. If you put on your computer this combination here, for example, here. So here I'm going to put something like a navy, and then I'm going to put this font like a green. This here is really nice in your computer. In your screen, you can read. If I put this in GV in the classroom, you are not going to read so well. Okay, so be careful. Okay. So far, so good, people. May I go? If you want to have any, if you have any questions, if you are already sleeping, let me know. You are sleeping.
Still not, Professor. Everything fine. Don't worry.
Thanks, Angelo. You are nice soul. You make my heart warmer.
Thank you.
And that's, I think you were the only one. So the rest are all okay. So the great thing about Zoom is that you can be online and, but that's okay. But I'm pretty sure you're all there and happy, and let's go. Thanks, Angel. Last point of our our principles is photos plus images. I like some inspirations. I've already told you about. It's not only about images that actually there's inspiration, but about anything, everything. I like books, so I am a heavy buyer of books. So the main books about presentations I have in my bookshelf. It serves for me for inspiration, but of course, and I've been buying these books for many years. So it's more like a collection. Of course, today people don't really like so much book as before, and also you have resources online that substitutes the book. So when I was in undergraduate school like you, I used to buy books because we didn't have internet. So the only source of inspiration was really the book. But what I recommend you to do is to get to Amazon, take a look at the name at this book. So if you get Presentation Zam, you get people that bought this book, bought also other books. So you get the whole crew, and get the name of the authors. Most of the authors have agency, they have their own company, they have their own consulting firm. So this one is Duarte, actually, I think I have to update the website. Duarte is Nancy Duarte. She's the writer of Slideology. It's another very well-known book. And in here, this kind of website, you can find some solutions, some showcases. So sometimes, for example, if you are working in Procter & Gamble, for example, you can find, I don't know, solutions for sales and market in consumer goods. So you see, you can get some ideas, so you can have some inspiration specifically from real examples, like, let's put this way. Okay, actually, one here that I really like from Duarte is this one, because she uses the company. The company uses a scale that is very monochromatic. So she got the company got the Hershey's color is like a brown, a very dark brown, and all the others slides and title and everything is with these colors, and the only different colors are the most important information, in the slide. So I really like this. They combine the photos, and take a look here. You have a big what's the name? A display font here on the top. And on the bottom, you have the sans serif font, and you have a big image. So it's very beautiful. They have great works. Okay. In Brazil, we have, in São Paulo, actually, we have two very well-known companies. They're soap.com.br. They are very traditional company here in Brazil, in São Paulo, that works with presentation. And they also have examples, okay? So you can take a look. So it's not only showcase from a book, or they are real presentations here, okay? So Soap is one of these companies, and the other one is La Gracia. Actually, GV likes a lot these two companies. The institutional presentation of GV was created by one of these two, I don't remember. Okay, for those who really who are enjoying this world of data visualizing, presentation design, etc., this is a very well-paid market. Okay, I'm not only saying about not about the design or the salary, okay, but the service is a very well-paid service. Okay, so companies pays a lot to have a very good deck of slides and a training in presentation. So it's a really nice place to, I think, to work on. Also, there is, I don't know if you know, there is a website called SlideShare. I'm pretty sure you have already known, but SlideShare. SlideShare, for those who don't know, is a YouTube of presentations. Actually, to see beautiful presentations, it's not so easy to find, because here you search. It's more or less like trying to find in YouTube a good video about presentations. Okay, it's difficult. So you put there presentation, and you have to watch lots of junks until you find something that you really like. So this here is more or less like this, but it's nice to get some content. So I like to research SlideShare when I want to look for content. Okay, so for example, I don't know. Let's put something very boring. So COVID. So how to deal with a situation of, so let's suppose that you want to, oh, this is a document, wait. Let's suppose that you want to, you need to make a presentation about what we are going to do after the pandemic. So I can at least take a look at how people organize their presentation. And this one is from News Monitor, if I'm not wrong. No, this is from a company called Talk. I don't know. So let's see. Yeah. So it's really nice to check for content. Okay. So I don't. So it's nice. Okay? About tools, okay, of course we know all the tools, we love these tools, so we love PowerPoint, we love Keynote, and we love Google Slides. And let me tell you something, today, at least I'm going to talk about PowerPoint, but PowerPoint today is very powerful, okay? For example, some, I don't know, two versions before the actual, no, sorry, all the falsus cognatus are coming to my mind at this time, but that's okay. So let's begin again. Two versions before, PowerPoint, I really needed, I had to use Photoshop to make my slides with PowerPoint. So I could not use just PowerPoint to do all the work, okay? Of course, today, for me, it's more comfortable to use Photoshop, so I'm still using it, but there are lots of things that I can already do only using PowerPoint. So, for example, last week I was finishing a presentation. I was at my mother's house and was using her computer. Let mine at home, and she doesn't have Photoshop, but I used PowerPoint to do all the work that I needed. So, including image manipulation. So I really don't need another presentation tool. Okay, but I know that some of you like Prezi or wanted to use Prezi once. Okay, I tried Prezi some years ago and I like it. It's really cool, but there are very little things, very few things that Prezi can do that PowerPoint cannot. So I'm really thinking, why go to Prezi if I have anything on PowerPoint? So the thing, Prezi is still better than PowerPoint is the Zoom thing. But the Zoom thing has to be well structured, has to be well designed. So I have seen already lots of people that use Prezi because I want to use Prezi, and the result is very boring because only the zoom in, zoom out, and zoom in and zoom out, and so it has no purpose. Remember that I told you in the beginning of the class that anything you put on the slide has to have purpose. So it's not actually image, but it's animation. It has to have purpose. Okay, so if you get here, the only thing that really is cool, is very cool. Okay, in Prezi is that you can have the zoom in, and so I think it's really cool. Okay, but just to use this, personally, I don't like. Okay, so I'm not going to change to Prezi or just to, okay. PowerPoint today has something new. I don't know if you have already done. You can put a slide in the middle of the other slide, and this slide here is going to zoom to this here, and I can. So here, and then I go to the other one. So I said, it's not working just because I told you. Wait. Aqui, vem pra cá. Aqui. Just because I said it was really cool, it's not working. Oh, I don't know if I have to have another one here, or this one has to be on the, I don't, really, I'm going to be frank with you. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to be frank with you. I never use it. So I just discovered this tool about 2 months ago, but I really didn't use it, okay? But I know, for example, that you can have a small example here, and then you click, and then you make a zoom, and then you finish, and I think you can get back to the zoom at some point. I read somewhere. So the zoom in, the zoom out probably is not so cool, so great in Prezi, but at least it's something more or less here on in PowerPoint, okay? So I think it's worth a try. And we have of Canva and Haiku Deck. Yeah, sure, Renata, sure. The Canva and Haiku Deck, they are websites that join templates, but very cool templates. And a website that promises to do the PowerPoint for you. So you get the content, they get the design, okay? But Canva, for example, has .com, Canva, okay, with no S, no plural here. They have here some templates. They have templates for everything, including Instagram story posts, resume card, the business card. So it's very nice, okay? I really like to use as inspiration, okay? So for example, I have to do a presentation. Okay, let's take a look at some presentations, some cool presentations, okay? They are better than PowerPoint templates. Of course, be careful because they have some mistakes here, over there, etc. But they are very nice. They have very nice ideas, okay? And you can download this for free. So this is very cool, okay? So Canva is nice, and Haiku Deck is also nice. So I recommend, if you don't use the template, at least to get some inspiration. Some useful and free sources. Sources of what? Of image. So let's first, let's get here, I don't know, I need some topic. Give me some topic, people, anything. Give me a word.
Football.
Football. Football or soccer?
Qualquer um.
Tá valendo. You have just regretted to say football, right?
Exactly. I was not expecting that.
So let's put football, because I think that the maybe the images are going to be better. Okay, so but yeah, football, it's okay. Of course, when you need any image, okay, of course we go to Google and look for it, okay. But let me tell you something very horrible. You cannot use these photos. No, you can't. They have an owner. Someone owns all these pictures, okay? And of course, professors use during presentation. When you're going to make a project to my course, of course you can use. Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, oh, you use a photo and didn't pay for it, okay? But all these images here, they are licensed. So it means that someone has, they have to license to you. You cannot use. I worked some years ago in Editora Abril, and I worked to them actually as a contractor, and one of the jobs they had was to find websites that were using their photos without license. Okay, so of course, for our daily basis, for school, for college, for okay, use Google Images. Okay, but if you're going to make, for example, a presentation for a client, or you're going to put a photo in your website, you have to get the license. Okay, or you may look for photos that don't need you can look for photos that have a license that are clear to some purposes. For example, for educational usage, you can use my photo. Okay. How do you do this? You get here two tools inside Google and usage rights, and you get the Creative Commons license. Creative Commons license, the basic license allows you to use the photo for personal usage. So for a course, for an internal group that you have, for the church, that church is a little bit, it's a problem, but for a small group in a church, that's okay, okay? The problem with using the Creative Commons license is that the quality of the image is not the same. Oh, no, it's not. So, of course, because these are more amateur color photos than the other ones. Okay? But you can get great images with a license for free. One website that I use a lot is the freepik.com. Okay, here is a image bank, like the great ones, like the big ones, like the paid ones. Okay, but here you can use for free. So if I put again football, I can find lots of nice photos, professional photos, and not only photos. I can have some illustration. For example, this one here. Let's suppose that you're doing something for kids, then you can use, it's not a photograph, but you can use, and the only restriction that they ask is that you give them the credit. So I will get, for example, here, I don't know, anyone, let me get the stadium here, okay? So by the time I click download, it's going to ask me to remember that you have to attribute macro vector, okay? So it's something that they ask. Actually, one slide in my, here, this picture here, there's three icons I got from the other side that I'm going to show you, called flat icon. So take a look here. I made I put icons made by Freepik and SmartLine from flaticon.com. Okay, so so it's not so bad to give the credit. Okay, so it's really nice. Not everybody noticed. Probably most of you haven't even watched it, noticed the thing here. So it's really cool, and you can download. And the download is in a big. No, it's not this one. Okay, let me open this up here. So it's in a big size. So I can, let's wait. Just because we're talking about tools, I don't know if you know this tool here, folder size. For me, it's really handy. It shows the size of the folders. So for example, here I have my documents here, and I have, of course, all the the files, the size of the files we can see here. So, we can see here, but for example, let's suppose that I want to get rid of, I need some space, so I want to clean some folders, and I don't know which folder I should begin with. So in here, I have the size of the folders. So I can't here. So I have here, for example, Dropbox has the size, and videos have the size, and so on, so on. So it's really handy. It's horrible because it blocks the visual, but I like.
The name of the program, Professor?
It's a folder size. You download for free. Put folder size on Google, and it's a very small file. It's really cool. If you don't find it. If you don't find, let me know. So here is our stadium. So when I get to PowerPoint, in here it doesn't look much, but it's a big stadium. So we can make this bigger, and let me close this. So the images are really cool. Okay, so it's nice. You can play a lot. I like photos, images, etc., and I love icons. God forbid me to have a class, to have a slide deck without an icon like this. I love it. I really like it. So for a website that is more or less brother to FreePic is Flat Icon. Okay, so Flat Icon is more or less like FreePic, but it's only about icons. So when I put here football, I get only icons, small pictures, and a really flat picture. So imagine, for example, when you go to the bathroom and have the pictogram, or you know that you don't have to turn to the left or right on traffic. So this small image that represents a person or a football or a bathroom or healthcare or anything. So these icons are really handy when you want to, for example, you can make, for example, an agenda, and you put a small illustration, not to just write the word. So it's really beauty. It's really cute. Remember that. No, you got the idea. So Flat Icon, the same structure. When you download, when you use, you have to give the credit, but that's not so bad. Okay. So the two that I personally use, are FreePic and Flat Icon. There is one that I learned from another. I have this class to Stolas Clínicas, and I gave last week, and one of the students gave me this very nice website here, the Noun Project. The Noun Project, I never use it, but it's nice to as an alternative to FreePic. The good thing about the Noun Project is that it combines in the same place icons and photos. Okay, so you can in the same website look for what you want. So and again, I have photos. So you see, they are different images from the other one. So it's really nice when you want some diversity, and you also can find some icons. They are a little bit different from Flat Icon. So I think it's nice to have both alternatives, okay? The good thing about images is that you can get the image and manipulate them as you wish, okay? So I like Photoshop. I use Photoshop for several years, but not everybody wants to pay for Photoshop. So a free alternative to Photoshop is Pixlr. Pixlr has a desktop free program and also an online tool to use. So it's nice if you don't want to download and to install in your computer. You can use Pixlr editor to edit your pictures and your photos for free. I know that you have more to do, you have lots of things to do, but it's really nice if you have some basic idea about how to manipulate the image. It's really handy when you want to do something different, okay? But it's not mandatory, but this is more a recommendation than something else. Pixlr is for photos, for photos and for images that are made as the photo that we know. Let me explain better. You know that when you take a picture at your cell phone, you get the JPEG file, okay? And this here, this is a picture. This is an image. That is formed by small pixels, okay? So every JPEG, every picture in JPEG is actually lots of pixels that together combine and you see the photo. Okay? There are other types of image. There is a kind of image that, for example, here we have the photo, that's okay. But for example, if I make a circle here in the middle of the, okay, to be very horrible. This circle here is not a photo, it is a form. It is what we call in graphic a vector. Why a vector? Because this image here is not made of pixels like JPEG. A vector image is made of numbers, okay? A whole bunch of numbers make the circle, but the image on the back of the slide is made of pixels. Why am I telling this to you? Because this is the difference between these two programs. While Pixlr is used to edit photos like and files like JPEG, GIMP is used to manipulate vectors. If you have any friend that knows anything about design or something like this, take a look, ask about Illustrator. This is the Adobe Illustrator. This is the Adobe software, okay, the alternative. And Pixlr is Photoshop. So these are two alternatives, two free alternatives, okay, if you don't want to use Photoshop or Illustrator. Actually, parenthesis, today you can, if you begin to use you can subscribe Photoshop and Illustrator. I think about 60 reais per month or 50 reais per month, something like this. So it's not forbidden than as it was some years ago when you had to buy the full package. You see, today they have lots of products combination that you can get cheaper, and also you have a huge discount being a student. Okay, so I don't know, maybe you want to get deep on it or license your not so licensed copy of Photoshop. So it's a good. It's not so bad in money. You got it. So the point is that why I'm saying this, of course, it's alternative, but let's put our feet on the floor and let's use PowerPoint to do most of the work. And you say PowerPoint, and I say, yes, let's put PowerPoint. So let me show you. I know that most of you know already lots of things that I'm going to show you, but I think it's nice for you to know, okay? We got the photo here. Of course, the photo is bigger than our slide here. So I'm going to cut it. So I can cut here on the image. So I can make, for example, smaller here and go here, and I can, okay, where am I? Oh, okay, because I wasn't, so, and then I can, so that's it. So I can crop the name, the official name is crop. I can crop the image. I don't know if you know that I can also crop, make this crop in a very ridiculous ways. For example, let's put the station inside a heart. Oh, yeah, it was horrible, I know. So I can crop, I'm showing you this because I discovered this not so long ago. So of course, this is very ridiculous, but sometimes, for example, you want to cut your photo or something like this to be a circle, okay? The problem is that this is not a circle, this is more like an egg. What you have to do is to cut before the original image to make, for example, if I want to be make a square circle, I have to make a square. Okay, let's get here more or less, okay, and then I put in the form of a circle. So it's better, okay. Another thing that you can do instead of beyond cutting is to make really some adjustments on your photo, okay? So first, it's very obvious, but it's really cool. You can play with the light, so you give more light, and you can give less or more contrast. Remember that contrast is the difference between the colors. But when I say contrast in a photo or in a color, I'm actually mixing the color of the photo with gray. So if I get to the contrast to the end, I'm going to have a gray. Okay, so I'm not only taking out the color, I am mixing with the gray. So when do I use this? For example, let's suppose that I want to use, I don't know, a text here, Viva o futebol. I don't know, anything. At this time of the night, it's horrible to have ideas. So let's suppose, actually, this is not so bad, but let's suppose that I'm worried that this is not going to be contrast enough, the white font with the background. So I can get the background a little bit darker. So I could, oops, here. I can get a little bit darker so I can have more contrast, okay? So I can, so it's nice for you to play with this, okay? Another thing that you can do, and now I'm not going to mix this with gray as the contrast, but I'm going to get rid of the color, okay? When I get here to options in color this time, and I'm going to get the saturation. The saturation, I am making the image black and white. So I'm not I'm not putting gray on it. I'm just taking out the color, okay? Sometimes you want to make an effect more dark, more sad, more cool. The photo is very, very bright. The photo is very happy. So I don't know, sometimes you want to say that the football is now suffering with the last, I don't know, something like this. you can make even, to make your point, this is nice. So it's just to make, wait, here. Just to make a point, you can take out a little bit of the saturation here. And then you can create a very sad transition. So take a look, and then you're talking about the football, etc., and then it goes fade. So this in a very cool presentation with the slide behind you, when you're talking about the fading of the football, so the message gets together with the message that you are speaking gets together with the image that is showing to the public. So you are saying something sad, and you are making people more sad, or sadder by just looking at this. I'm happy, I'm sad. So saturation is about a little bit about being sad, okay? Of course, you can, I don't know, let's suppose that you are making a presentation to Palmeiras, sei lá, just kidding, but you got the idea. So you can make like a filter, and so it's really nice when your client, for example, is going to make something about football and the logotype is all green, then you put the green, and that's really nice, okay? And problems with PowerPoint is that you can destroy everything that was cool in something very horrible. For example, using this artistic effects without purpose, okay? For example, the one effect called neon. So let's make our photograph neon. Okay, of course, if you have the, so this is more or less like, oh my God, I'm going to, I don't know, Walking Dead, I don't know, something like this, okay? So if you have a purpose, right, great, okay? But if you don't, avoid. And here you have lots of others effects. You can blur, you can do lots of things, okay? Two last things just to show you that it's really nice, okay? First, let me get, it's not going to be, wait, first football. I'm going to Google just to be quickly, okay? Football. Let me get an image that is going to work. There are some things really cool about, no, football is not going to be a good, let me get an example that I think this is okay. For example, sometimes, this is a very specific example, okay, but you can think about things to do, okay? One effect that the image can have, for example, okay, is the blur, okay? So I can blur the whole image. But let's suppose that I have a photo, and I think you have already seen this in the news or in the videos, that you have a photo and part of this photo is blurred, okay? Of course, we do this in Photoshop, but let's suppose you don't know or you don't have Photoshop. So you can make a gambiarra. So now I'm only going to show you two gambiarras that I use very commonly using PowerPoint, and I really don't have to worry about using Photoshop. So, for example, let's suppose that for some reason this car over here, this red car in the back of this room, I cannot show it. I don't know, there is a person there, there's a brand there, I don't want to show, okay? How can I do this using only Photoshop? I'm going to get a copy of this photo, okay? And then I'm going to put one photo exactly over the other. So one is the front, the other is in the back, okay? Then I'm going to get the photo on the front and I'm going to blur it, Now the blurring is very useful. And then you say, okay, but only this is blurred. I want only this to be blurred. Now you cut. So you're going to cut the font, the photo in the front to be blurred. And then you have the effect that you want. So this is a way, this is one thing that, look, this is an effect made useful, okay? So think about the tools that you have, what you need to do, and how can you combine them, okay? Another thing that is really nice, I think I can do this with this photo here. Wait, let me see if, yeah, I can. So let's pretend that we have this picture, it's okay, but let's also pretend that I don't need, or I don't want, or I cannot use the whole picture. So I'm going to use this, okay? And then you say, okay, what I'm going to do with the rest of the slide. Of course, I could get the eyedropper, the conta-gotas, and get one of the scholar here, but still I have a line in the middle. So I don't want this cut. I want it to be. So what can you do? You can make a gambiarra. How is going to be a gambiarra? You're going to get the same photo and duplicate. And then you have two photos, one over the other. Now you're going to get one of them and flip. So I'm not turning, I'm not rotating, I am flipping, okay? It's more or less like when you make a selfie and everything is inverted. So we are going to invert, but invert vertically, I think, yeah. So here I come to girar. Instead of, I don't want to girar, I want to invert. So the stadium is looking at itself, okay? So I join the two pictures. And then, of course, now you have a flying saucer, of course, but you can, for example, extend this. You are going to see, I know that you see this mark here, and this is really not a very good photo to do this, okay? But this is a very cool thing when you have an abstract background in a photo. You see that babies, for example, cute babies always have this kind of opportunity to mess with. Just because I said this, I don't have anyone, but no, okay, no, this is not a cutie baby, but that's okay. Oh, okay, so here, so let's get this baby. This is sleepy baby, it's more or less like you are. Yeah, baby. Peraí que a mamãe já vai. Sorry. Oh, this is not going to work because Photoshop is, PowerPoint is going to get me crazy. But I think you got the idea, just because I'm looking, he knows the classes. I think one of you called my cat because this is almost the end of the class and he's whining here, so probably, so you got the idea here. I'm going to get a good example for our next class, okay? To wrap it up, I have some other things to say, but I'm going to leave to our next class. So my point is, tools are available and you have to try to use them, okay? So our next class, we're going to have a little bit more content, but we're going to work to have a new project. So try to think about what we've seen today and let's try to apply this, to use this next class, okay? Sorry to speak so much. Oh my God, I spoke a lot. I hope you all have a great week. And if you need, I'm here. If you want to get some information extra or have any doubts, I'm here. And if not, see you next week. Have a great week and be good, as always.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you, Professor. Bye-bye.
Que é, Pikachu? Vamos lá. Sure, Victor. If you want to make by chat, that's okay. If not, I'm here available as well. Oh, okay. Actually, I think that there's, yeah, sure, no problem.
Hi, teacher.
If you want to speak in Portuguese for me, that's okay as well. So, or not.
Tá, pode ser. Eu queria te fazer uma pergunta que não tem muito a ver com a classe, mas eu sei que você é orientadora do... você é professora do TCC, né? E eu tô com uma dúvida, porque assim, surgiu uma oportunidade de eu fazer um trabalho junto com uma outra pessoa, sabe? Um TCC já.
Uhum.
E só que assim, todo começo de semestre tem que escolher já o orientador, né? E que no caso, tipo, eu tinha o meu projeto e eu escolhi meu orientador, mas eu tava pensando em fazer uma mudança em relação a isso.
Tá, espera só um pouquinho, Vitor. Deixa eu só entrar num. Você não se importa de entrar numa breakout room?
Eu prefiro, na verdade.
Agora eu entendi. Peraí.
Sim.
Que fica mais. Não. Eu acho que eu criei uma sala que eu coloquei todo mundo, ou seja, que não foi uma coisa muito inteligente, entendeu? Então então, pronto. Pronto, abri, mais fácil.
Beleza.
Mais alguém quer falar comigo ou vocês só estão aí e estão por aí? Vocês só estão aí que estão por aí. Vou fazer um print screen disso aqui. Oi, Vitor, mas fala, é melhor assim. E aí?
Obrigado. Então, aí eu queria saber, assim, se já teve algum caso desse tipo, porque o que aconteceu? Tipo, eu tava conversando com o meu amigo, né? E, tipo, ele começou, a gente tava viajando, assim, e aí ele começou a contar sobre o TCC dele, né? Inclusive ele é da GV e tal. E eu achei super interessante, assim,